Yeah. Yes. In the house again. What's up, Tar? Yeah. I hope everybody can hear me. Um, Let me do a little check. Hey, Andrea, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I just want to do a little check-in. Uh, I got a little piece from Tar, and I wanted to share it with everybody. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Oops, I'm sorry. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind here. A good Saturday. Uh, Actually, I got to go to the amusement park tomorrow on Sunday. But so I wanted to take a minute to share something here. Let me see. Let me check this. Turn this audio down a little bit. If you can hear me, let me know if you can hear me. I hope so. Let me see here. Can we go back? Let me see. Video file. Here we go. Let's see here.
Thanks everybody, it's Queepoo'S, and today we're going to get in a video about Brother Polite and a case that was started and filed on October 31st, 2019. This case can be found online. It's public record, and so we're just going to get into it. So here it says Ryan McCoy v. Michael Nowak, and it says Jessica Casey, Michael Nowak, and Juliet Smalls. That Michael Nowak is Brother Polite, Juliet Smalls is Monette, and Jessica Casey is most likely one of Polite's other wives. So this is the case number, and this is the date it was filed. It says the court, U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. The presiding judge was Dolly M. Gee, and the referring judge, Gail J. Standish. Nature of suit, other, fraud. Cause of action 281332, and jury demanded by plaintiff. So we're gonna get into this right now. Okay. So here is
Shout out to Tar for giving me a heads up on this video.
Is some of the paperwork involved in the case. I will block out phone numbers and addresses listed in this information here. This was filed October 31st, 2019. So it says United States District Court, Central District of California, civil cover sheet. It says A, the plaintiff, Ryan B. McCoy, county of residence of first listed plaintiff. I will not disclose that. Attorneys, Ryan McCoy represented himself. So he listed his own phone number and his own address, and I will be blocking that out. It says defendants Michael Nowak, Jessica Casey, and Juliet Smalls. This is Polite and his women. It's a checkbox if you're representing yourself, so the box was not checked, and there's also no attorney information. So this most likely means that he either didn't show up, or we don't know. Let's just keep looking. The basis of jurisdiction. Diversity indicates citizenship of parties in item 3, citizenship of principal parties, citizen of the state, the defendant, and citizen of another state, the plaintiff. So Ryan McCoy was a citizen of another state, and Michael Nowak, which is Brother Polite, and his women are citizens of the state of California. It says origin, original proceeding, requested in complaint, jury demand, yes. Okay, money demanded in complaint, $110,000. Cause of action, diversity jurisdiction. I was scammed out of, I'm trying to see what that says. Okay, it says out of 110K, and I live in the state of such and such. I'll block that out as well. Okay, so it says torts, personal property, 370, other, fraud. See, this is real documentation. It's stamped. It says, okay, your answers to the questions below will determine the division of the court to which this case will be initially assigned. This initial assignment is subject to change in accordance with the court's general orders upon review by the court of your complaint or notice of removal. Question A. Was this case removed from the state court? No. Is the United States or one of its agencies or employees a plaintiff in this action? No. Is the United States or one of its agencies or employees a defendant in this action? No. Okay, it says, indicate the locations in which 50% or more of defendants who reside in this district reside. Los Angeles, Ventura, Santa Barbara, or San Luis Obispo County. So that was checked off. Is there at least one answer in column A? No. Is there at least one answer in column B? No. Okay, enter the initial division determined by question A, B, C, or D above. And it says Western. Do 50% or more plaintiffs or defendants in the district reside in Ventura, Santa Barbara, or San Luis Obispo counties? No. Okay. It says, has this action been previously filed in this court? No. Is this case related to any civil or criminal cases previously filed in this court? No. Okay. See, so it was signed by Ryan McCoy, September 15th, 2019. Okay, so see, it's stamped October 31st, 2019. This was filed in a district court. It says Ryan McCoy was the plaintiff versus complaint for damages, which is versus Michael Nowak, Jessica Casey, and Juliet Small. These are the defendants. Complaint about fraud, misrepresentation. Now come plaintiff Ryan McCoy by and through their attorney complaining of defendants respectfully alleged as follows. Received 10/30/2019. General allegations. Plaintiff Ryan McCoy, plaintiff, at all relevant times mentioned herein and currently resides in the county of Los Angeles, state of California, and he is suing under Fraudulent and Misrepresentation Act. Plaintiff Ryan McCoy is informed and believes and based thereon alleges that defendant is who at all relevant times mentioned herein and currently resides in the county of Los Angeles, state of California, and who caused injuries and damages to the plaintiff in the county of Los Angeles, state of California. Plaintiff Ryan McCoy is informed and believes and based thereon alleges that defendants Michael Nowak and Jessica Casey and Juliet Smalls, who at all relevant times mentioned herein and currently resides in the county of Los Angeles, state of California, and who caused injuries and damages to the plaintiff in the county of Los Angeles, state of California. Venue properly lies in this county, in that all defendants reside in this county, and that the conduct described herein was committed in this county. All defendants' names and capacities, whether individual, corporate, partnership, associate, or otherwise, of defendants sued herein as Michael Nowak and Jessica Casey and Juliet Smalls, 1 through Ryan McCoy, inclusive, are currently unknown to plaintiff, who therefore sue said defendants by such fictitious names. Plaintiff is informed and believes and based thereon alleges that each of the defendants designated herein as a Michael Nowak and Jessica Casey and Juliet Smalls are legally responsible in some manner for the events and happenings referred to herein and cause injury and damage proximately thereby to plaintiff as hereinafter alleged. Plaintiff will seek leave of court to amend his complaint to show that all defendants' names and capacities of the defendants designated herein as Michael Nowak and Jessica Casey and Juliet Smalls, whenever in this complaint reference is made to defendants, such allegations should be deemed to mean the acts of defendants acting individually, jointly, and severally, except as hereinafter specifically described. Defendants and each of them are and were the co-conspirators, aiders, abettors, agents, and employees of the other defendants, and in acting as described herein were acting within the conspiracy or the scope of their authority or employment as agents and employees thereof, and with the permission and consent of the other defendants. This case arises out of injuries suffered by plaintiff Ryan McCoy after defrauded by the defendants and scammed out of roughly $110K from defendant Michael Eugene Nowak, aka Brother Polite, and his first wife Juliet Natoya Small, aka Amunette, and his second wife Jessica Casey, aka Raed. Plaintiff Ryan McCoy invested his father insurance money in Brother Polite financial mentorship for 9 streams of income plus a real
You can see this is crypto Rootz they're talking about here.
estate trust, also known as the celebrity mentorships, which he claims to give to P. Diddy, Serena Williams, Floyd Mayweather, etc.
You gets up there and parade to the people that you bought my car now, that you gave me the money that helped buy my car. You lying bitch. This is why I ain't got no respect for you no more. You gets up there telling people that you bought my car, you helped me buy my car. Nah, nigga, what you did was you robbed me. Every goddamn debate we had, you was stealing my money, robbing me, taking the money from the people. That's why it was way more. Do y'all remember a few months ago, he kept saying, yo, when I come to the gathering, right, I'm gonna have a nice big donation for Sarnetta. Y'all remember that? Press 1 if y'all remember that. Press 1. This nigga.
A nice big donation. But where do you think that nice big donation came from? Where do you think that money came from? And do you think that matters when the money is coming through an illegal source, through scamming? Do you think it matters that the money goes to you? Should it matter? Or should it not matter at all? What do you think? What do y'all think in the chat?
It's up there lying to the people, talking about he bought my car. Every car that the people see you driving, nigga, is rented, Polite. Even the goddamn house that you in right now is not your house. Why do you think you changed crib from crib to crib to crib? It's not yours, Polite. You talking to somebody who know you, nigga. And believe me, I got data on you. But see, what you say about me is all good. I don't give a fuck about that. But the shit I got on you is real shit, Polite. You don't want to go there. You bought my car. Picture that. Picture that. I bought my shit with my money for my birthday. On my birthday, I bought that. The same time you stole 10 racks from me, nigga. And the only reason why I told the people that we settled it, remember when I said, yo, we good now, we're going to take care of it? Because Polite said, let's tell the people that I'm going to give you a donation. So I said, cool, I ain't give a fuck, nigga, give me my money, nigga. I said, all right, Polite going to give me a donation, y'all. So I rolled with it. I rolled with that shit. Polite going to give me a donation. I said, all right, cool. As long as you give me my money, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Because the minute you give me my money and I put that shit in my pocket. Why you ain't fucking with Meta World Peace no more? Think I didn't know that, huh? Huh?
And here's the thing. He's blaming the person of stealing money, but does he care where the money comes from that he receives? Do you think? Do you think it matters?
Plaintiff Ryan McCoy received the money from his father life insurance and want to settle his life, build his own house because he has suffered a lot due to loneliness and homelessness for a better future. Plaintiff Ryan McCoy was not aware with fraudulent acts that why defendant Michael Nowak and Jessica Casey and Juliet Smalls and his family scammed him and took great advantage of his innocence, ignorance, and loneliness. Plaintiff Ryan McCoy lived with them 3 months, and the defendants Michael Nowak and Jessica Casey and Juliet Smalls and his family used his money for their luxuries, lifestyle, food, clothes, his music productions. Plaintiff Ryan McCoy invested all his money with good faith, but all the defendants were using him for their comfort. Plaintiff Ryan McCoy trusted the defendant because he promised that he will give him a fair amount after investing money. All the evidences will be provided. Plaintiff Ryan McCoy tried to signing the papers for investment, but the defendant Michael Nowak and Jessica Casey and Julia Smalls didn't do this because he was using him by the plan. Plaintiff Ryan McCoy asked the defendant about the invested money and his shares as per promise, but the defendant didn't give him a positive response. After using plaintiff's money, the defendant kicked him out with empty pockets. Plaintiff Ryan McCoy was not a well-established person. He was homeless and used to live alone, so the defendant took advantage of his weak points and used plaintiff's father's insurance for benefits. Defendants Michael Nowak and Jessica Casey and Julia Smalls promised to the plaintiff that he would give him a fair share, but he scammed and kicked him out fraudulently. Defendant Ryan McCoy gave the plaintiff emotional and mental stress throughout the time period because defendant didn't sign a contract and forced the plaintiff to trust him. Plaintiff Ryan McCoy believed his fake promises and consoling behavior. After all the fraudulent, now plaintiff has no money to survive. First cause of action: fraud, misrepresentation under Code of Civil Procedure, U.S. Code 931. Penalty for misrepresentation. Plaintiff Ryan McCoy invested his money with the defendant in his business with good faith because he wanted to build up his career and settle future family life, but the defendant scammed him and used his money with his wives for their comfort through luxuries, living style, expensive clothes, dinners, gas bills, and luxurious cars rents. Felony, fine, imprisonment. Any claimant or representative of a claimant who knowingly and willingly makes a false statement or representation for obtaining a benefit or payment under this chapter shall be guilty of a felony, and on conviction thereof shall be punished by a fine not to exceed $10,000, by imprisonment not to exceed 5 years, or by both. So this is saying that, Polite is the head scammer, but those associated with him are also just as guilty. So y'all all going down. That's not just Polite on his own. That's his wives, that's Sonetta, that's whoever else associates themselves with him and is leeching off of the benefits of the money that Polite is getting while he's scamming people with these fake mentorships. The United States Attorney for the district in which the injury is alleged to have occurred shall make every reasonable effort to promptly investigate each complaint made under this subsection. List of persons disqualified from representing claimants. No representation fee of a claimant representative shall be approved by the Deputy Commissioner and Administrative Law Judge, the Board, or Court pursuant to Section 928 of this title if the claimant representative is on the list of individuals who are disqualified from representing claimants under this chapter, maintained by the Secretary pursuant to paragraph 2 of this subsection. The Secretary shall annually prepare a list of those individuals in each compensation district who have represented claimants for a fee in cases under this chapter and who are not authorized to represent claimants. The names of the individuals contained on the list required under this subparagraph shall be made available to employees and employers in each compensation district through posting and in such other forms as the Secretary may prescribe. Individuals shall be included on the list of those not authorized to represent claimants under this chapter if the Secretary determines under this section, in accordance with the procedure provided in subsection J of Section 907 of this title, that such individual has been convicted without regard to pending appeal of any crime in connection with the representation of a claimant under this chapter or any workers' compensation statute, has engaged in fraud in connection with the presentation of a claim under this or any workers' compensation statute, including but not limited to knowingly making false representations, concealing or attempting to conceal material facts with respect to a claim, or soliciting or otherwise procuring false testimony. So basically this is all saying that if Polite is found guilty, that it will be basically registered that this person will, is fraudulent when it comes to employment. But I'm pretty sure Polite and his women do not plan on getting any form of employment. They scam for a living. So I'm gonna move down a little bit and keep going. Okay, so it's basically going into the types of fraud actions in California. It says requirements of intentional misrepresentation. The false statement must have been a false statement of fact, not opinion. There was intent to defraud with false statements. The victim relied on the false statement in significant part, and such reliance was reasonable. The victim suffered damages as a result of the fraud. Negligent misrepresentation, otherwise known as constructive fraud, is similar to intentional misrepresentation, except that when the at-fault party convinces the victim to rely on false facts, it is not done so intentionally. The at-fault party may have believed that the false statement was true, but the important thing to remember about negligent misrepresentation is that despite making a false statement without any intent to defraud the victim, the at-fault party should have known that the victim would rely on the false statement, and further should have known that there were no reasonable grounds for believing that the statement was true. It is easier for a victim to succeed under a theory of negligent misrepresentation as opposed to intentional misrepresentation, as the victim need only prove that the defendant did not have a reasonable basis to believe that the relied upon statement of fact was true. Concealment fraud requires the existence of a relationship between two or more parties in which disclosure is required. Concealment fraud requires the following: defendant had a duty to disclose certain facts but did not. Defendant failed to disclose certain material facts, and failing to disclose those facts, defendant intended to defraud the victim. The victim cannot have been aware of the concealed fact. The victim suffered damages as a result of their reliance on the concealed facts. False promise fraud, otherwise known as promissory fraud, involves a contract in which the at-fault party makes a promise that he or she does not intend to fulfill. False promise fraud requires the following: a promise was made that is relevant to the contract. Defendant did not intend to fulfill the promise at the time it was made. Defendant intended that the victim would rely on the promise, and the victim did, in fact, reasonably rely on the promise. The defendant did not fulfill the promise. The victim suffered damages as a result of their reliance on the false promise. Okay, it says second case of action, breach of the contract and damages, section 3300 U.S. Civil Code. Defendant Michael Nowak and Jessica Casey and Juliet Smalls promised with the plaintiff in verbal agreement that he will give him a fair share after investment, but he didn't fulfill his promise, so the defendant is a liable breach of the contract according to the laws. General provisions: relief, compensatory relief, measure of damages for breach of contract. Let's keep going. It's just all laws and things like that. They're talking about all these different laws that are being used against Polite within the case. Okay, it says, wherefore plaintiff Ryan McCoy demands judgment and pray for the following relief jointly and severally against defendants Michael Nowak and Jessica Casey and Juliet Smalls. Full and fair compensatory damages in an amount to be determined by a jury. Punitive damages in an amount to be determined by a jury. Reasonable attorney's fees and the costs and disbursements of this action, and damages as appears just and proper according to the fraud, misrepresentation under Code of Civil Procedure, U.S. Code 931, penalty for misrepresentation, breach of the contract and damages, 3300 U.S. Civil Code. General provisions, head of Division 4 amended by Stats, 1988, Part 1, relief, Title 2, compensatory relief, and the measure of damages for breach of contract. Plaintiff's verification, whereof I, Ryan McCoy, do hereby verify on oath that whatever been stated from paragraph number 1 to 21 are true and correct to the best of my knowledge, and all counts of legal paragraph are true and accurate to the best of my information. This is on public record, just for the record. It says, due to the nature of the lawsuit, I had to flee the country to blank to live off the crumbs that I still have left from my inheritance that Michael Nowak, aka Brother Polite, and his 2 wives scammed me for. Michael was well aware of my state of homelessness when I received my father's life insurance. He knew I was alone and vulnerable, scared of going back to poverty. He assured me that he could make sure I could never experience that again if I invested in his financial mentorship program. Well, in a matter of 3 months, Michael used lies, intimidating mind control to scam me out of $110,000. I ended up being homeless in LA, making Michael well aware of my situation. He consistently promised I will get my money back while he lived a high-class Hollywood lifestyle with his wife to show off on social media. I had to sell my small stock investments and moved to blank, where I met my new girlfriend who is now pregnant. Although I do have residency in blank, I have no official mailing address there since I've been living on the beach the past 2 years while I study computer programming. I cannot afford to fly to blank to check mail for my case. I kindly ask if I can receive a response so I can be better at keeping up to date sooner. I put my blank mailing address, but that is only temporary. I'm not sure how long it would take for me to receive mail from the US. So look, it says Brother Polite, US. This is the evidence. This is all the receipts. This is what's being shown here. It says brotherpolite.us, 907 Westwood Boulevard, Los Angeles, California, 924, United States, 1-347-455-3778, bp@brotherpolite.com. Receipt number, invoice number, date paid, payment method, MasterCard. Paid by Ryan McCoy. $3,200 paid on January 26, 2019. Here we go again, another receipt. Brother Polite. Same email, same phone number. Paid.
It gets interesting, Andrea, because it mentions some people, other people outside of his wives that received money from this guy on his behalf, on Brother Polite's behalf. Is interesting.
By Ryan McCoy. $5,000 paid on January 22nd, 2019. As we see here, Ryan McCoy. January 20th through February 19th, 2019. Debit card. Transaction description. Hotels. Hotels.com. Hotels.com. Look at all of this. Here, $1,000. $400, $400, $400, $600, $3, $6. You know, small portions of money. Here we go again. All this money being spent. Hotels again. Let's look again. Hotels, $900, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $2,000. We see right here, Brother Polite. Brother Polite. Here we see it again. Brother Polite. Hotels. Tickets. Cheap ticks. Health foods. Hotels again. Plane tickets. Delta. $758 in Walmart. It says here, it says Blue Pillar 44 in New York.
Blue Pillar? That's Blue Pill. Another associate of Sarnetta's that uses his platform, well known on his platform. So how did this guy end up sending him this money? It's interesting. The sad thing about it is that this brother who filed this case, he died. He died, and he has a child. He had a child before the time where he died, you know. And from what I've heard, in all of the conversation around Crypto Rootz, Polite, the persons that have, been asked about him, and Sonetta's one of the people that was asked about Crypto Rootz. It's in one of the videos where Polite is on Sonetta's program, and a person calls in and asks about Crypto Rootz. And so I'm curious how many of these people feel like they have any responsibility for the welfare of that man's child. I mean, I don't know. No, I don't. David, Blue Pill died. No. I'm saying Crypto Rootz died. Crypto Rootz, Ryan McCoy, the one who filed the case against Polite. I don't know if Blue Pill died. I don't think so. I didn't hear about that. But indeed, it is sad. This is Blue Pill. One of the twins is Blue Pill with Polite in the middle. So they're all associates. All good, David. Hope you're doing well today. Also.
Peace, family. What's good is in the God. I'm here to talk about brother fucking Polite. You're a fucking scam artist. You're a fucking scam artist that fucks with the whole fucking conscious African black collective community. Brother Polite, you're a fucking scam artist, okay? Sonetta, Blue Pill, Red Pill. No, Sonetta, I'm leaving a different category. Blue Pill, Red Pill, why are you so quiet? Brother Richard, why do interviews with him if you know he's been scamming the fucking community, bro? Go check out Young Pharaoh's page, Keith Gill's fraud department. Brother Polite, you're a fucking scam artist, okay? You got somebody locked up due to your scamming, okay?
Yeah, when you see this video, it makes you want to hold tight to your family. For real. I mean, seriously, man.
And you scam my fucking great auntie. Don't fuck with me, Brother Polite. Cause you gonna fuck with the wrong niggas, and we really about this conscious shit. The truth will always be revealed. And Brother Polite, you not finna scam again. You wanna know how Brother Polite scam you? Here's how he fucking scams you.
And this is out of all the horrible things, this is one of the major aspects about this scamming network. You heard this young brother say he's really about this consciousness. Well, there was thousands and thousands of people really about this consciousness, and then all of a sudden they were introduced to scammers and scammers. What do you think all that scamming does to these people that are really about this consciousness?
He tells you he's going to give you a status correction. If you go to Brother Polite's website, his shit then got shut down for scamming. Brother Polite was selling people status corrections for $550, knowing damn well the shit didn't work. Brother Polite been selling fucking status corrections for 5 years now. $550 a pop. He claims he's a celebrity now. You're a fucking scam artist.
You have a lot of brothers and sisters in the community that think they can file some paperwork and quote unquote correct their status. So as a lawyer, what do you think about that? What is your stance on that?
Okay, so you're talking about the sovereignty movement, the people who are filing the affidavits and don't want their name in capital letters. And personally, I think it's Can I say bullshit? Yes. Personally, I think it's bullshit. I've seen people in court make this argument and go nowhere with it. Here's the problem. The problem is that the people, the people who want to be declared sovereigns, right? You're filing paperwork with the courts that you say don't have jurisdiction over you. So I'm trying to understand, if they don't have the jurisdiction over you, how can they declare you anything? I'm not understanding that. I don't understand that, because when you file that paperwork, which they never file properly, right? You have to file paperwork on notice of motion also, and you have to file a copy with the DA. They never do that, right? They only file these affidavits with the court, which are ineffective. But even if you did file it properly with notice on motion, you're asking the court to do something, right? Because a motion is a request to move the court. So if you're asking the court to do something, recognize me as a sovereign, how can you in the same breath say you don't have jurisdiction over me? Which is it? I don't see. It seems counterintuitive to me. And I've seen the case law. I've seen the law that the Moors rely on. I understand that they believe that this is maritime jurisdiction and all of that. But if you don't get those people that you are asking.
Now, she's talking about a different type of scam that people have been selling associated with that platform. Right, it's not the status correction, which Polite was selling, is not the same thing that the Moors were selling people here. You know, it's terrible.
To recognize that, then all they have to do is deny your motion, and you're back where you started.
Money going to Richard Merritt. Coconut fish cake. Cheap ticket. Here again. Hotels. Desmond. Jonathan.
Yeah, it's definitely some straw man.
Brother Polite. Target. Here we go again right here. Walmart. Hotels, hotels, hotels. Hotels again. It says Bounty Music. Brother Polite again. $5,000 paid on January 22nd. Look at all of this money being spent. $5,000. Brother Polite. Hotels. Brother Polite app. $5,000. Look at this. $3,000 for a hotel. $2,000 for a hotel. Brother Polite. And you see California, Delta, tickets for Delta, $304. Brother Polite, here we go again. Hotels.com, hotels again. Brother Polite.